So hi guys, we're Nerd Gems. I'm Shannon.
I'm Jadon.
And we're going to start off with our Arrow recap. We're almost at the end. On one hand, I'm excited because as much as we are enjoying doing this, it's getting more difficult for us to schedule this right now. But I can't believe we have one episode left of everything, huh?
Yeah.
Everything's ending starting Monday.
And this is weird. It's weird because it feels like we've been doing this for so long, but we started in the half.
We didn't even do the full season.
Yeah, we didn't even do the full season.
We did it in after the hiatus.
Yeah.
Right? No, we did a couple.
We did the invasion episode.
Yes, that's right.
That was this year. That's kind of discouraging.
Well, no, it was right at the end of 2016. Yeah. Because I had brown hair, and then when we came back, I had blonde hair.
Yeah, it was about the first one was the invasion, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we're sticking it out, and we're getting technically better.
I think
slowly. So. Real quick, just a side note: if you follow or have seen his personal Tumblr, apologies.
Yeah. It's not.
We got hacked, or Jadon got hacked.
Yeah.
But don't need to stay on that too long. Let's start off before we get into this, since we're all about our CW shows. What'd you think of the Black Lightning trailer?
I haven't watched it yet because I was gonna do a reaction.
Okay, fine. Never. Mind.
I also have to
it.
watch the X-Men TV show one.
There's
Gifted.
An X-Men TV?
The
Inhumans?
Gifted. Yeah, it's called it's called The Gifted. It's
What?
about
What channel is that coming on?
FX.
Oh my gosh! And you need to get caught up on Shield because holy crap!
Yeah.
It got good.
But it's like I was catching up on this last season of Vikings and Justified.
All right, fine. We're getting off our CW shows.
Yeah.
Shield just went on their season finale, just happened, and they're moving to Fridays with Inhumans.
So their last season, maybe?
We think so. A lot of them are saying that this might be the end because, spoiler, they brought back who plays Grant Ward? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, she is.
Well, anyways, they brought back the Grant Ward character and gave us closure with him, and some other things. They brought back Trip.
Brett Dalton.
Yeah, there you go. They brought back Trip and gave us some closure with Trip.
Yes, I'm so
like
watching
I said,
it now.
That's the only reason I'm spoiling you is because you really need to watch it. It gets a little weird, but they wrap it up well.
I kind of wish you hadn't told me that.
Well, you weren't gonna watch it.
I was gonna watch it. It just takes me a while. I probably would have waited till. Did they get on Netflix pretty quickly, or?
I don't know. But anyways, let's get into Arrow 522 Missing.
That's the title. I didn't know the title.
I got this, guys.
Yeah. Although surprisingly enough, there wasn't much about William, who I thought it was going to be all about.
Same.
We only got that little video on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm okay with. He's not a very good child actor.
I don't even remember.
It's
been so long.
I just watched this episode right before we're recording this right now because it's been a week, and there's just some things. Okay, first off, John Jr. Isn't John Jr. still like an infant?
Yeah.
Or very close to still being an infant?
Yeah.
Like 1 year old if the most?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take JJ fishing 2 days on the water with my son.
That sounds like hell
with a toddler in general, but especially one that I'm pretty sure is no more than 2 years old. Yeah. I know we're pretty bad at this whole remembering thing sometimes, but Flashpoint changed the gender of the baby, not
Well, he was born.
the age.
He was born around the same time that Sarah died. Because
So 2 years old.
Because it was baby Sarah at first, and then it got changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Have fun with that, Diggle.
That was a little weird. And that's in the birthday scene when they're talking. They think they're having their summer break, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, like the whole time I'm thinking, because they do this like every episode, I think. I feel like we're like, oh, we've won, and then we're like every season.
I was about to say, every episode or every season?
Every season, we're like, oh, we've won, and they have a party. And thankfully they do less parties now. They have less parties. Thank goodness. I feel like anytime they prepare to have a party, they should stop and go, maybe we should check on everything.
Yeah.
Relating to this, what we've been doing, and make sure that everything's okay before we go ahead with this party, because they always get screwed. Every time.
Especially, I don't know, I guess it's weird. So maybe they think Renee skipped town because he skipped out on his daughter's hearing. But if he has a few days worth of mail stacked up, why isn't that raising red flags?
Well, that's what Clinton said was like, because he said it kind of raised a flag with him because he said he acts like a irresponsible jerk or whatever, but that's just the way he wants everybody to think. We know differently. Well,
but what I mean, let me clarify, is that it took Clinton going to his house to notice that he's missing.
Yeah.
If he's got a few days worth of newspapers stacked up, why hasn't anyone else on the team realized that he's not around?
Maybe they felt like, I feel like it would be kind of okay if it just like kind of chalked it up to maybe he's going on a bender or something because he skipped out on his kid or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe. There's that and a few other things that we're going to all touch on at least. Yeah. That whole you got to suspend your belief enough.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. When it's a good enough episode, you can just chalk all that up to whatever. And I felt like the beginning of this episode fell flat in that area. So I saw that. There's no Talia. We just hear about her and then we see masked assassins. Like, why can't we see Talia? Why can't you have the actress? I
liked it more when it wasn't another like League of Assassins thing. There's ninjas just doing their bidding. I liked it a lot more when it was just like, well, when at first it seemed like Adrian was doing everything by himself and he was just a genius. But then it was equally great when you realize that Talia has been helping him the whole time. But I don't need an army of ninjas and cannon fodder for them to fight in the finale. It gets really tiresome, especially when you think about like how these are supposed to be the most premier assassins in the world, and they're getting punched out by people like Curtis, or Firestorm, or Firestorm,
right.
Jackson Legends Season 1.
That's one of the things I hate about TV shows is when they bring in an actor or an actress and then they just name drop him all the time or they skirt around it. So she's helping him, but she's not in this episode.
Yeah. I thought she was the one that, because this is another stupid scene, it's just a stupid sequence, but like when that ninja cuts Diggle and Felicity's car and they explode.
Oh my gosh, it's so horrible. That's one of my biggest...
How did they live?
Well, okay, how do they live from that? Diggle is a getaway driver, or has been the getaway driver for how long? And he's gonna get scared by a few sparks and then they're just the convenient dirt ramp to flip them. See,
why did they explode?
And why did they explode? There's just a few, those things right there were too far-fetched for me. With the slow of the slow pace of the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. Really nitpicky. But why is Thea's go-to all the time? Let's get a drink. Like, I know it's like.
Is she even old enough yet?
I think she is now.
I think she's finally 21.
But yeah, like, I swear she needs to follow Quentin to rehab or something because that's her go-to for everything. Since season 1, it's like, let's get a drink.
Well, she's a recovering drug addict. We hear all about Quentin's all the time, but we never, or maybe not drug addicts.
They did wear it for it this time. They're like, champagne? He's like, no.
Well, no, that's just it. We hear about it and it was fine to hear about it because that happens.
Yeah.
But we never once hear anything about how she had a drug habit. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, she almost died on vertigo. Holy crap.
Yeah. This episode brought back a lot of memories because of the flashbacks with the flashbacks. Dolph is amazing.
Yeah.
I hope you guys that watch the fact that we can't stay in sequence, and by we I mean me, because this is how my brain fires.
It's our ADD.
We did have a comment. Thank you for your very long comment, and
I haven't read it yet, but I will.
I don't know if you're male or female, but I'm gonna say she. That
if you're on the internet, always assume it's a he.
Whatever.
That's how you keep yourself safe.
You brought up a good point about why you reminded me why I never liked Laurel and Oliver or Oliver and Sarah. He cheated on her with her sister. So no, she should never have gotten back together with him. But we're not going to get into that. But it's a really messed up thing to do. And it's one of my favorite things from the trailer. Like, I was a missionary when I first saw the trailer. Like when she says, I don't know whether I couldn't move on because because how do you move on when you find out your sister died screwing your boyfriend or something? And I love that. But I love that she eventually forgave him, and like they had a whole thing about it. Forgive, yes, but no, you don't get back together. And then after he breaks up with Laurel, he gets back with Sarah Lance.
Yeah, I remember that being a problem with me. But that was back when I was like, oh, they're meant to be.
Meant to be.
This Black Canary and Green Arrow, they're meant to be. And that really is though, like, something that Oliver does in the comic books, is he constantly cheats on Black Canary. And it's like, well, why is she always with him? But there's so many moments where she talks about how is... Well, it's not... I make it sound worse than it is. Like, but he's cheated on her, he's been raped and had a child with someone else. That's actually happened to Batman, too. Holy crap! What's happening with all these guys?
Well, because he is Batman, remember?
Well, Talia rapes him, and now he has a kid. Damian Wayne. He was awesome. Anyways, but yeah, like, that's just, like, it's part of his character where he is so self-destructive, and he's so self-depreciating, or whatever the term is, where he tries to sabotage his relationships.
Well,
so that's always been part of his thing.
Here's a little tidbit about the way I work. I don't give a damn if you're self-sabotaging. You don't get to constantly do crappy things and then they get back with you. It's stupid.
It's always done really well, though.
I don't. I can guarantee you right now that if I were to ever read the Arrow comics, I would have thrown them out. So I'm glad that they have possibly, hopefully, somewhat changed that about Oliver Queen. So, back to the current season.
I hope not, because if he gets back to Felicity...
We're going to get to there.
That relationship.
We'll get to all this. How do you go from 1 week to the next?
It's more like, it's been like more of a gradual, like, oh, I'm accepting this, and then it's been a gradual, no.
It was 1 week to the next.
No.
But, alright, so back on this week. Let's just get through the first little bit. Whisper talking. Stephen Amell, stop whisper talking.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier before, but like a lot of people confuse good acting with like whispering or shouting, and excuse me, sorry, I was drinking something carbonated. Like I keep seeing like these reviews where it's like, oh, Stephen Amell's grown as an actor, and it's like, yeah, he really has, like a lot. It's amazing. Yep. But a lot of people like reference these like scenes where it's like all he's doing is he's either whispering and then he goes to yelling and then back to whispering, and it's like that works in music where you have these crescendos and crescendos. That works beautifully. Not so much with acting. It's not a good device.
You're too extreme, and then he's whisper talking when he in the safe house with Diggle. That's when it was really noticeable and annoying for me, because I was like, why? Like, why are your whisper talking should be saved for when you're trying to be emotional. Yeah. So I understand that you could be emotional in that moment. I don't know, it's just weird. Yeah, it was weird.
It's just one of those things that was, like we were talking about, is gradually it started to wear on me. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's not a deal breaker or anything. Yes. He did have a funny line with Curtis where he's like, if I had had my T-Series with me, he's like, you would have what?
Right.
Yeah, I would have
still would have been on the floor. Why? Surprise party? Just like Quentin says, I told you it wasn't a good idea. But it kind of hurt my little heart a little bit that he was excited not knowing if it was a date or not. And that it was a surprise party. And Felicity didn't know about it either then, huh?
I didn't catch that.
Because when Curtis and Felicity were talking on the phone afterwards, Curtis was being the shipper. But he's all like, oh, it's so cute, the tension, and then you both got so dressed up for each other. And Felicity said something to Oliver that was like, we didn't have our moment since we thought we were going to have dinner together or something. So I think Thea planned it. So I think Felicity really was going to go to dinner. That's my take on it.
Yeah, parent trapped or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. About that conversation, the whole conversation's fine, whatever. If you, just like, self-defense 101, if you come to a door or a home that looks like it's been broken in, and you plan on entering that home, put the cell phone away. I feel like a vigilante would know this, or should know this, because he's just asking to get kidnapped. Or killed.
Although, one funny moment. Oh no, what? I think she's been broken into. Do you need backup? Probably.
Yeah.
Curtis. I mean, maybe Curtis does understand his role on the team. I agree. I was just like, really? It was all around. Thea is a badass assassin light. Like, she's not a League of Assassin, but she was trained as a League of Assassin member by Malcolm Merlyn. Yeah. And she's just completely sidelined, and it annoys me. Go put Thea in a safe house. No!
Well, we didn't even see Dinah.
Let her, right, because she got, or Renee.
I was fine with Renee, like not seeing Renee, but
well, it's because they had. Remember, if they send out or if they bring someone in, they have to send someone out, and we get 2 surprises at the end.
Yeah, it would have been so much fun to watch Dinah get captured, like to see the fight that she would put up. That'd be great to see. But I guess we didn't.
But we didn't get to see any of them put up a fight.
Did you notice that the safe house is the same? I'm so sick of these CW sets. It's just Queen/Luther Manor.
It's Queen Manor. I thought the same thing.
That's not a safe house. Like if you ever seen like safe houses are like these simple. Like I've never seen an actual safe house, but I assume it's government funding and you want to be inconspicuous, low key, not a freaking manor.
But even I noticed it was Queen Manor, and that's. Again, if you watch this at all, you know how much I don't pay attention to detail unless it's Sandverse. So it's very weird that I was looking at it like, this looks like they just touched up Oliver's house.
It's like they painted it a new color, but I'm pretty sure that's Lana's bedroom inside the Luther Manor in Smallville. Huh.
Oh, Smallville. I'm like, what are you talking about?
That was Luther Manor.
I was like, her name is Lena.
No.
But we're not talking about that.
It got changed to Queen Manor. And it's been used, I think it's used also, is it used in Vampire Diaries?
I do not watch that show.
Yeah, I think it's their manor.
Oh, also, beginning of the episode, I actually liked the beginning when Quinn goes, we got your approval rate back up to 70.
Yeah.
Was it ever as high as 70?
Yeah.
No.
That's my
Where's
first
Susan?
She left, remember?
No.
Did she leave?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I just remember saying she went to go live in Coast City, and she's gonna go marry Hal Jordan's brother.
Oh, because you said that.
Yeah, because she's.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. I guess I don't
remember what she was saying though, where she was going, but.
Okay.
That was a funny line though.
So let's touch on Olicity real quick because it only has like 2 moments, and it's in the surprise party.
Moments.
Well, it does. It's in the surprise party.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
and then the other moment was
party.
in when he's telling her to stay with him, and she's all.
Is this like a tactical thing?
Right.
Or?
Which was weird. Or his response was weird to that.
It was. I'm more okay with Olicity. Like I am more like as much as I rail against it, I am more okay with it now because it's more in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was my whole thing, is because it took the face of the entire show. If it's in the background, it's fine. Like when he gave that first look, I was like, okay, yeah, it's fine. But then they kept doing these looks, and it's like that's the kind of thing that drove me nuts.
Oh, at the party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if it's subtle, fine. I'll be more okay with it. I can accept it more easily.
Well, I was gonna say is I'm still okay with it as long as it's done right. They're kind of. So go back 2 episodes when he was in the hospital after they got trapped, and I said it sounded like Felicity said, "I'll wait while you figure who you are," because he needed to find out who he is.
Yeah.
And I feel like he hasn't really done that yet.
There's been no time to do that.
But I did like his line when she goes, "How you doing with this?" or something like that, and he's like, "Well, hypothetically dating my ex-fiance is difficult," and she's like, "No, that's not what I'm saying."
Yeah.
There's some really good lines here, and I don't. Before we get into the reveals of the slowly but surely, we got to talk about what else do we have to talk about? I don't know.
Was it called the Red Scare or the?
Oh, the flashbacks. Well, yeah, no, it's not the Red Scare. That's the.
I know it's a
communist.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if I couldn't remember if they named it after that, or was it Red Terror or?
That sounds more.
Something red. It sounded cool.
Red Murder.
And it's a cool drug.
I just watched it. It is, and Dolph is amazing.
Yeah.
And he looks phenomenal.
Yes, and Yao Fei came back.
Yes.
He looked great. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Mm-hmm. We saw a flashback with Shadow.
Oh, 3 surprises.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shadow. Well, we saw all of it.
Yeah.
Remind me who. So he jumps in front of Sarah Lance, and the guy shoots the other woman.
Yeah,
Who's the other woman?
Sarah. Like it's Sarah and Shadow.
Shadow. That's who he shoots. Okay.
Yeah.
I could not think of it.
Professor
All right.
Ivo, which is completely wasted.
I was thinking Shadow when he was like in love with her on the beach, but we saw 2 flashbacks with Shadow.
I loved the whole concept of that drug, and I liked how it worked. Except every time the flashback would end, it would look like Oliver was just like, that sucked.
Yeah.
Like it didn't look like he was being tortured.
And then when Dolph was talking to him about the whole "you'll kill yourself with 1 bullet" thing, I was like, is he falling asleep and waking up? what is going on over there? Because he would be like holding himself up just fine, and then he'd go to point the gun and be like, it was very weird.
It was a good concept that kind of just fell a little bit flat. Wasn't utilized
a little
too
bit.
well.
I loved, especially since we're going, spoiler, I mean for the end of the episode, they're going back to Leon U.
Yeah.
And we've talked about how the show is almost caught up to flashbacks and reality.
I've never noticed, like Leon Yu, comic book fans. So Roy's daughter.
Roy who?
Roy Harper.
Okay, he has a daughter.
He has a little girl. Her name's Leanne. I totally forgot about that.
There you go. Is it spelled the same way?
I think it's spelled the same way. But yeah, I don't know if it means anything, but yeah, there you go.
There you go. But so knowing that they're going back to Lian Yu and totally lost my train of thought.
Sorry. It just really struck me, and I was like, I really do hope that there's a kind of more of a period where I hope like where we're at is like 4.5 years, and then we get time on the island where he goes insane, and it's not just a facade that he's putting up.
Yeah. Because
like if you look back at season 1, he was just like this shut down.
Maybe the drug is part of why he goes insane. Because Lian, Yafei is telling him to kill himself to end it, and he's saying exactly what Chase is telling him now, that those close to you will suffer. So all of that's getting put in his head now, and flashback Laurel is the one who saves him.
Yeah.
And tells him that, and so maybe he does go crazy. Maybe he gets out and they think that he's dead, and he gets stuck on the island for real for a while by himself.
And by the way, great catch on the continuity, filmmakers, because Laurel's hair was brown in the first season, and I'm so glad that they didn't that they caught that and made sure it was the right color instead of going blonde like she usually is in flashback or in these weird death appearances or whatever you want to call them. Question. So how did I feel like there's a lot of moments in this episode where people just did not put the pieces together very quickly. Like they say, like they were talking about how who's helping Chase. It's not this person. Well, it's not this person. It's not this person either. Well, he's locked up. It's like it's obviously Talia. Like
no, they said he knew it was Talia from the darts.
No, but like it takes them forever.
Really?
When they're talking about it, because it's first in Diana's apartment where they're talking about like.
Well, that's the first time they even realized that someone's helping him.
Well, no, because they knew because Talia captured Oliver before he was tortured. She was there.
Oh, you're talking about episodes before.
No, I'm talking about this episode.
All right, hang on.
They've known for a long time that Talia's been helping him. So, but like, there's this in Dinah's house. They're talking about like, well, Evelyn's locked up and da 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 da, and like they're talking about it for a moment, and then it's like, it's Talia. Like it's this big whole revelation.
All right, I must have overlooked that part.
Yeah, it's
because what I saw is he pulls the dart immediately and it's like it's Talia.
Well, no, that's the safe house, but I'm talking about in Dinah's house.
Oh, okay, you're right. My bad. Yeah, that's a good point. That's the writing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted Talia. We talked about that.
I liked Quentin's scene with Laurel, the couple scenes.
All right. The episode when Laurel comes back, Black Siren comes in, and they pretend like it's Laurel back from the dead. Mm-hmm. She calls one of her parents. Is it her mom?
Was it her mom? I don't remember.
But it doesn't matter which one she calls. You're going to tell me that her mom didn't tell Quentin?
I don't remember her calling a parent.
Well, she doesn't. She can't call Sarah because Sarah's the one she uses as her excuse.
I still remember a phone call. Period.
Oh no, I remember the phone call. She definitely makes a phone call and is telling him because I remember thinking, don't have him tell a parent yet.
Oh, well, I was just talking about how great.
Well, it was great.
His
the acting was. But to me, the whole time I was like, what do you mean he doesn't know about her? Why didn't he was in rehab? But why didn't her mom say something? Because they had to have called her mom and been like, so about that, it's not your daughter.
Well. I think it's one of those tropes where it's like, I was doing it to protect you, but it's like, it really is kind of like more acceptable because it's like, yeah, that would send him off the deep end again.
Yes, and it was well done. I didn't, it was weird because even with John and Felicity, the only ones we saw being captured or during capture were Thea and Quentin, and it was to tie up this loose end right at the end, which I'm okay with because at least they tied it up.
Yeah.
So now, well, and especially since we know Black Siren's in season 6. But yes, very well acted, very well written.
He's so desperate. He's like, no, it's Laurel. It's Laurel. It's definitely her. And yeah, he did really well this whole episode. There's like a really silent acting moment at the end where they're all talking to Chase and he has them lined up, which is just awesome. It's like an awesome scene. Mm-hmm. And like when Chase first walks up, he kind of flinches, like he's afraid of him, and it just made me so giddy. Mm-hmm. It made me so happy.
Chase looked pretty badass at the end when he's not. I like him better when he's not being all Prometheus.
I want his Prometheus suit on the island. That'd be so creepy and so awesome. I don't want like a stupid leather jacket with bulletproof armor underneath.
Well, I'd much rather that than Oliver and his face mask and leather jacket.
I'm so sick of that. Yeah.
So let's stick with Black Siren real quick since it's not too much. So she really feels for this Clinton?
I feel like she's being genuine. I can't remember. I think she had a backstory where she talked about it in Flash where something happened with her dad or
so maybe she doesn't. Better. Okay.
Yeah, I think she's being genuine about her.
It seemed it. I mean, and then the way because he's not hurt, but then they go to Leanne Yu, and is Chase really not going to kill them? Can he assure her that they're... So I don't know.
I don't know.
But I like that he kind of made a dig at her that my Laura would never trust Chase because he won't ever...
She'd never be so stupid.
Yes.
And she's like, yeah.
Alright, anything on that real quick?
They mentioned Utah.
Yeah, and I looked it up. There's no Down Valley, Utah.
Yeah. Come on! Use a real place.
Right? We have so many... Goblin Valley.
Yeah. There's
so many, like, death zone areas that you could touch down a plane and no one would know about it.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Malcolm Merlin is back.
Okay, I'm like on one hand I'm happy because like he was great through the episode.
Oh my god!
But then it's like the whole, and then like I was also thinking, do we really need him in the episode? It was a kind of a back and forth.
At the same time, though, do you really think that we wouldn't go? Why isn't Malcolm here when Thea is?
Yeah, well, it makes
it's been consistent.
It makes sense, like because like I feel like sometimes. When she's really in trouble, he may not be around, because when she was first kidnapped by Deathstroke, he didn't show up yet. In the second season, and it's kind of like that.
That's true.
It's kind of like been like that the whole time, where sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. Yeah. So it was like the same way. I was like, do we need him? I think we do, because he's acting like Oliver's like devil or angel on his shoulder the whole time, like just talking to him and bouncing dialogue off of each other. So.
I forgot about the whole telling Damien about the kid thing. So Oliver's reaction was really good. So when they went to the angle of the camera up, it was a shaky camera. It was a handy cam. So it was probably somebody up there with a handheld camera. Anyways, I was like, no, this angle is stupid, because we talked about it in I think last season where they used a Steadicam. That's the word I'm looking for, during fight scenes, and then made it look like a reality television show. And for a second, I thought they were about to do that again. But when they kept going to that angle, I was like, oh, is it Talia up there? And Malcolm drops down. I was like, yes! But his reaction, like he says, you're not welcome here. He rightfully is very angry. You gave up my son. Malcolm apologizes. Yeah. He had so many good lines. He's like, is on, as a little emotional or something about his hand.
Yeah, but it's understandable.
He asked Oliver, why haven't you tagged your pets yet?
Yes! I thought you would have learned to tag your pets by now.
Yes.
It's like, well, I did. Well, Felicity did have nanites, but...
Right, but they zapped them. So I like that. That was a good way of explaining that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure people have asked why don't they tag them. Oh my gosh, what else did he have, though? When they're trying to free Chase, this would be so much easier if we could just kill them. Yeah. It's not happening.
And then he did, I'll cover you.
No, really?
Really? I was like, yes.
I was chuckling.
Ooh, he did have a moment where he's like, talking about where Oliver's doing, like, he's like, I thought you had technology for this or something. He's like, impressive. And then he gets this look on his face, like, behind Oliver's shoulder, like, I'm going to steal that from you.
Yes. And I love how he calls it out. People thought the Green Arrow had this, or this. He's like, no, I had a Felicity. Yeah. There were lots of good lines.
Did anyone say anyone ever told you suck at life? Yeah. No? Care to be the first?
With the sword at his throat, this Curtis on the NU, to chase.
It's funny, but like at the same time, it's like, dude, this guy has upended your life. He ended your marriage. I forgot about that. He put you in the hospital. This is not the time to get snippy with him. Like,
but at the same time, ballsy for you.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
like I said, it was a great line, but it's kind of like, you might want to.
So the last probably about 3 to 4 minutes just got jam packed, and where I went from kind of like my attention was on this episode for sure, but I kind of kept noticing these little things, these nitpicky things. When we got to that last 3.5, 4 minutes, I was just like wide-eyed. You came in and I was like, shh, kept turning the volume up.
And I kept brushlling my bag.
Yes, I was like pausing, and what do you say? I rewound it a couple times. I mean, there's not too much more. There's some good fight stuff that happened, yada, yada, yada. When Oliver grabs Chase, Josh Segarra, we are not going to ever stop talking about this guy because he's so good. But he grabs him, and Segarra's he's just like, no, I'm not gone yet. Like, there's just something about the way he said it that it was really, like, thick with emotion, I guess, but...
I was listening to a review on the way here where they're like, you know those actors where it's like the producers talk about how, oh, this next season we're bringing in this person and they're going to be amazing, they're so good, and it's like, it's usually just like Hollywood speak and it's just like, yeah. But it's like, it's totally true in every sense with Josh Segarra. Like, he has not just killed it, but he has, like, demised this whole part. He's just murdered.
Yes.
Just murdered it.
It's so good.
He's like I said before a couple episodes ago, he and Deathstroke kind of battled it out as my favorite villains.
Oh, wait. He and who?
Deathstroke.
Oh, who's that?
You know, Slade Wilson, the guy that shows up at the end.
Of this episode, not last week's episode.
Yes. I'm so happy. I thought it was gonna be him, not, Nissa that was walking in.
Me too. Well, no. So Nissa Al Ghul shows up, and that's the first little bit, and it's so funny because he says something about ego, and Malcolm's just standing next to him. I gotta do this one. And Oliver's like, I'm gonna need you to keep your ego in check. Why? Who is it? And he's kind of like an excited kid at first.
Yeah.
Nissa comes in. No. And that's how he said it too. Yeah. Like, it wasn't very authoritative. It was like childish. Like, no. And now we get the line on Legends in the second to last episode. He's like, where Reverse Flash is explaining what Malcolm got at. He's like, Nissa Al Ghul is living a closeted life in the middle of the Midwest. So he has an issue with Nissa Al Ghul.
Yep. She's trying to kill him.
I know, but it was so good. And Nissa was really good in that scene.
This might be the one time I've been so happy to see her. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think I've been too vocal about it, but like, I'm not a fan of her character. I think she's just like a discount version of Talia. And I think like, this is probably like my least favorite role that Katrina Law's been in. If you've seen her in Spartacus, she's amazing. But yeah, I just feel like she's a dry character. But I cannot tell you how happy I was to see her. Even though it wasn't Deathstroke walking in. Right. Which would have been even cooler.
So I liked the interaction between them. I thought, so if you watched one of our last reviews, I'm not sure, I had been seeing some buzz about another crossover on Tumblr. And so for a second, I thought it was the Legends. Or at least some of the Legends.
I knew she was coming back.
I didn't know, because I try not to get spoiled. I try not to get spoiled on Supergirl either, but it happens, because I'm impatient. But, so Nissa Al Ghul comes in, and then they're flying to Lian-Yu.
Yeah.
And...
Good, but whatever.
So and then we see that all the 5 members of the team, well no, Renee and Dinah still weren't there.
They're somewhere, like, they said, we're Renee and Dinah, they're like, they're not here. But I'm thinking they're somewhere else, like, and I'm sure he has like all these death traps that they're gonna have to save them from all over the island. Yeah. And I'm sure that they're already in one of them or something.
So we get those members of the team, we see them all there, and we get the little interaction between Curtis and Chase, and I love it. Love all of it. And then we get the end of Oliver begrudgingly walking into the cell.
I love the way he played it was so brilliant.
Yes.
So brilliant. Just like, I have to do this.
Like you see him in the doorway, and it's and then he takes a step in and throws the bag.
Did he kind of smile too? I feel like he smiled a little
Oliver?
bit. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll have to look again. It's hard to tell, like, through the cage. And then Manu Bennett.
I didn't need him to say anything.
Wilson, Deathstroke.
I didn't need him to say anything, but what he said was perfect and delivered perfectly. Just like...
Well, first, Oliver drops the bag and says, I need your help.
Yeah. And then, what does he say? He says, I'm so glad to see you back here. I'm so glad you came back, or something. There's something along those lines. Yeah, it's kind of killing me now.
Right.
But the way he says it is like, it's not like evil villainy or anything. It's just like, hey friend, I missed you.
He's insane. And he's got like his beard going. It's a lot thicker than it was. And I'm pretty excited.
Things are right again.
So yes, the episode definitely picked up at the end and made up for all of the stupid mistakes. Right there at the end. Well, most of the stupid mistakes. Not having Talia is definitely not going to be made up for. She better be in the season finale.
Well, I think she has to be.
Well, yeah, she's got to fight Nyssa, right?
Unless she is going to let Prometheus take the fall or whatever, and then she's the villain for next year.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
I don't see how they would bring Nyssa Al Ghul back if she's not going to actually confront her sister with at least a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So what is Slade? What's he gonna do? What's he there for?
He's gonna hunt down those ninjas.
Oh, because he knows the island.
Murder them. He's gonna murk everyone.
They're gonna be like,
so happy.
You can't kill anybody, and he's just gonna laugh.
You can't kill anyone.
Do you know my name?
Jeez. Deathstroke. I cannot wait to see movie Deathstroke 2. Like, what's his Joe Manganiello? Is that how you say his name?
He's playing?
Yeah, he's Deathstroke.
What? I did not know that.
You have to read this interview where he's like,
It's
Manganiello, I think.
Whatever. We know who he is.
He's the villain for Batman, so far.
What?
Yeah. And he's talking about like how he's learning sword fighting and everything. He's like, so I'm learning how to do all this like fighting and stuff. And then I'm learning it, and then I'm talking to my instructor and saying, okay, so how do I do that with one eye? And then just like he talks about his steps for learning how to become Deathstroke, and it gives me chills.
That's awesome. If you don't know who he is, he played Alcide Herveau on True Blood.
Flash Thompson in the first Spider-Man.
Yep, and he played oh my gosh, I don't know his real name, but the guy with the really long schlong in Magic Mike.
Oh, I've never seen it, so I know he's
in both Magic Mikes.
I've seen the GIFs.
And he's been in a lot of other things. That's the ones that I know him mainly from. Oh, he was in One Tree Hill. He was a bartender that dated Brooke Davis for a little while, but who hasn't dated Brooke Davis other than me?
Okay. It took me a second. I was like, did you really say that?
So that's awesome. So that's Deathstroke in the movies, but let's get back to Arrow because we got a lot to cover and the rest of this. I really enjoyed that.
I thought we were done.
Well, no, I just want to wrap up the whole episode because I really enjoyed Supergirl and Arrow bringing in these random things that have happened that we've asked about, and they're tying them up.
Yeah.
Whether they're doing it in a messy knot or a clean tie, they're tying it up. They're ending it, and I'm happy about it. And one of them is Nyssa Al Ghul, Malcolm Merlyn. Like maybe not Malcolm Merlyn because he's kind of thrown in there, but we haven't seen like a real end to Nyssa, and she gets name dropped here and there. But I with Talia being here, I asked about Nyssa before we started recording. I was like, oh, what about her sister? Yeah. So it makes sense that she would show up. Thea's back, so they're gonna pull that together. Quentin found out about Black Siren and all this stuff, and we're finding out Chase's plan and William. So they're bringing all the loose ends together. So I was happy to see that.
I'm wondering where William's mom is, if we'll even see her. Because it's kind of weird. It'll be weird if we don't even see her.
She's got to be captured too, because if her son is missing, the first person she would contact is Oliver. It's still weird that it doesn't raise red flags that Felicity can't find him. But whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Well, that's all I got. I
didn't see the preview.
I didn't either. But I imagine, like I said, it's Deathstroke running around the island, murking people. And it's going to be glorious and beautiful.
We're going to have so many one-liners. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited for the bickering between Malcolm and Nyssa. And Oliver, and then Deathstroke's going to just be like laughing around and egging it on.
I want to see a Deathstroke Prometheus fight.
Oh my gosh.
I want to see it.
But then I think Oliver's going to have at least one or two moments where he's going to have to be the mom and just be like, knock it off. Yes. I'm excited. I love one-liners. I I love stuff like that.
I
So.
kind of wish it was just him and Slade. Like, that's what I was hoping it would be. Like, just him and Slade against an army of people, or just one of them, Slade taking Prometheus and Oliver fighting Talia or something. It's not going to be that, but I hope we do get to see some of that. So.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to us. Leave us a comment. One of us will answer you, if not both of us. Come check us out on Tumblr. Talk about us there. All that good stuff.
For your friends, you know.
Instagram.
Yeah. I'm trying not to sound too desperate, but subscribe.
Yeah. Come let us know. We'll be putting out more stuff. Thanks, guys.
See you later.